So, Sheffield Wednesday's youth team coach is taking a lot of inspiration from Danny Rull. Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is well and is doing okay. So, Sheffield Wednesday's youth team coach is having that situation where having someone who's ahead of him, i.e. Danny Rull, helping him because they're both similar ages, and it's giving him a chance to believe in himself and be able to do well. And I'm talking about Jordan Broadbent. He's our youth team. I think he's our youth development coach. That's it. And he got the whole thing where he's looking at how things go and how they do, and he's basically the person who looks after basically Cadam Archery and co and make sure they're doing well. And the thing is, the more people who can really look up to Danny in the way he's doing things, I think that helps the club a little bit. I think it helps us have a culture of wanting people to succeed. Now, he says here, I think it's good because you look at English game for a long time. I feel like there wasn't a pathway for young coaches as opposed to the continent. You look at our manager, and now he's had the opportunity because he's very good at what he does. Hopefully, we'll see him identify filler down to the under-21s in the academy. And it's that thing. If he can start using the academy, like he said, he's going to have to work with Seb people. He's going to have to work with the youth development coach. He's going to have to work with Neil Thompson. He's going to have to work with Steve Haslam of the academy. And I've got this thing. I really want us to start using our academy for what it's worth. There are some very good players in it. And if we can start getting a clear pathway to where people are going to come in and do well, Bailey can kind of light the torch of to show them that you can do this. You can get into the first team. We can do this, because I think at times there's been a situation with us as a club that we've had too many first teamers who are hard to move out of positions, or the coaching staff who were involved were not willing to. They wanted the experience. And I think you've got to have a big situation having that good in between of youth and experienced players. And I don't think we've done it that well. Now, if we can get this to work out where you've got someone who's looks up to Danny and trying to see what he does. And the thing is, Jordan's only 36, but it does show that he can move on and do really well. And it's the thing, when you look at how we're structured, it's not a good structure for youth team. It's not a good structure for other people in a coaching football side to go forward in the club. It is if you're behind the scenes doing other bits. We've seen that recently with the role going into this from Liam. Is it Liam Dowling? No, it's not. Liam Dooley leaving, and just someone going into that role already. And I think this is what we've got to try and look at, how we progress our own players, but even our own coaches. If you start having a situation where coaches feel like they can stay here and get better, great. I want to still bring more coaches in anyway, in all down the levels, from first team to academy, the lot, because I still think we are underutilizing that. But that also comes down to how many coaches can you actually realistically put down at Middlewood, because it's tiny. We all know the big thing is that we could do with a better training facility, but we use what we got. We had the community centre where I think a lot of the youth team and the ladies do their work. And there is talk about the lady coming under the actual Sheffield Wednesday handle now, as actually being in-house instead of it being its own separate thing, which I think would be a really good thing. But I think it only is a good thing if you see people like Jordan doing well. And the thing is, before he worked at Wednesday, he was at Sheffield United, Barnsley and Bradford. Now, Sheffield United and Barnsley are two clubs who have had brilliant academies. And I think you get people from those works of life where they've got really good academy structures and you try and put it into ours, I think it helps. So hopefully this is something we see more coming out, that more people are getting really excited behind the scenes with how he's doing, how Danny's doing things, and then it's filtering down into the academy. Because What you want is you want the first team. If the first team playing a certain way, you then want the academy to mirror it. So if they do have the chance to jump up to the first team, they know what they're doing automatically. It's not alienating them. The only thing that might be a little bit alienated is the speed of a game or how physical it is. Again, I'm a big, massive component of letting youngsters go to non-league or League 2 and just let them get in the kicked out of them. Because at the end of the day, I think it builds them up to show them how this is how real football works. It's not like the under-21s. It's not like academy game where you're going against people your own age. I miss the reserve team stuff. I don't like this under-21 stuff. I used to prefer it when it was a reserve team where you would have bits of the academy and then bits of the first team in. Because I think that was better because academy boys then will go against like seasoned pros because they weren't in their first team. They were playing reserve football instead. I thought that was always a better principle as how things got. But that's never going to go back to that. We are stuck in this like under 21s, under 18s. It's never going to go back to that. You have a couple of teams who have got their B teams like Brentford and co. Or I don't know if Brentford still got theirs. But they had their like B teams and stuff and did it that way. So we'll see what happens, but this can only be a good thing if you're seeing someone who's already behind the scenes like what we're doing and going for it. And here's the thing, I'll just leave you on this fact. 9 of the 24 that are more than 1/3 the age of 40 or under, only 3 of them are in their 50s. This is a thing that run through the EFL. Only 2 of the 72 managers are age 60 and over, with Steve Evans and John Coleman both being 61. There is starting to see a younger generation of managers coming through. You're starting to get the likes of Steve Bruce and co. not really being the people to go for. You're getting people having to look at different options. I think you look at what's happened with the 2 people who went up from League One with us in Schumacher and McKenna. 2 big managers who are quite young. You look at Ryan Lowe, quite a young manager. You look at what's going on with Leeds. Farker's still technically quite young, even though he's very experienced now. Everyone is going down this route now of having a younger, experienced man at the helm. And I think it's the way forward. I think you're going to see it more often than not now. Because you look at what Bristol City's just done. They've just got Manning from Oxford. Very good young manager, very proven, and had 2 good jobs. MK Dons nearly getting promoted. And then, was it MK Dons? He was at, I can't remember. Might got that wrong. But he was at MK Dons, but then he went to Oxford and did pretty damn well. So let's see what happens. It's good. I think we have to have a clearer pathway for younger managers now. But we will see what happens with this, and this can only be a good thing.